Along the mighty Yellow River lies a land where fertile plains have borne witness to the rise and fall of empires for millennia. Ancient villages, hidden under a blanket of mist, whisper with the songs of early farmers that still drift through the air. Majestic mountains stand sentinel in the distance, framing the horizon and guarding the secrets of a civilization that crafted bronze wonders, built colossal walls, and penned poetry that would echo through the ages. From the mysterious Xia Dynasty, whose legendary tales of flood control and heroism laid the groundwork for future empires, to the grandeur of the Tang Dynasty, where art and culture flourished in a cosmopolitan metropolis, each era unfolds with its own unique splendor and challenges. Join us as we journey through time, exploring the intricate tapestry of China's dynasties and uncover the rich heritage that has shaped one of the world's oldest continuous civilizations. This is the story of China. The seeds of Chinese civilization began to sprout with the Yangshao culture, which is believed to have begun around 5000 BC along the fertile plains of the Yellow River. The Yangshao people cultivated millet, raised pigs, and lived in large villages with round, semi-subterranean houses. Their pottery, decorated with intricate designs and vibrant colors, showcased their artistic flair and communal spirit. Around 3000 BC, the Longshan culture emerged, continuing the advancements in agriculture and social organization. The Longshan people built fortified settlements and crafted fine black pottery, reflecting a leap in technological sophistication. Early forms of social stratification and centralized authority began to appear, with evidence of large-scale constructions and elaborate tombs. These developments set the stage for the rise of the first dynasties, marking the dawn of recorded Chinese history. The Xia Dynasty, often cloaked in the mists of legend, is considered the first Chinese dynasty. Founded by Yu the Great, a hero who tamed the Great Floods, the Xia Dynasty's existence remains debated among historians. Nonetheless, it holds a revered place in Chinese folklore as the dawn of Chinese civilization. Yu the Great's legendary feat of flood control not only saved countless lives, but also demonstrated the importance of a centralized state and effective leadership. The Xia kings ruled over a network of clan-based communities, setting the stage for the more centralized and hierarchical societies that would follow. Although archaeological evidence is scant, the Xia dynasty symbolizes the early statehood and the emerging culture of the Chinese people. With the Shang Dynasty came the beginning of recorded Chinese history. The Shang were masters of bronze, crafting exquisite vessels and weapons, and they left behind the earliest forms of Chinese writing on oracle bones. These inscribed turtle shells and ox bones reveal a society deeply concerned with divination and ancestor worship. The capital at Anyang was a bustling metropolis where artisans, farmers, and warriors toiled under the watchful eyes of their kings and ancestors. Shang society was hierarchical, with the king serving as the intermediary between the earthly realm and the divine. The use of bronze not only demonstrated their advanced metallurgy, but also symbolized power and prestige. Rituals and ceremonies played a central role, reflecting the Shang's belief in a universe governed by ancestral spirits and divine forces. The Zhou Dynasty overthrew the Shang, introducing the concept of the mandate of heaven to justify their rule. This divine right to govern became a cornerstone of Chinese political philosophy. The Western Zhou period was characterized by a feudal system where the king granted land to loyal nobles, who in turn pledged military support. This era saw the codification of rituals, music, and poetry, laying the cultural bedrock for centuries to come. The Book of Songs and the I Ching emerged during this time, reflecting the Zhou's rich intellectual life, and the Western Zhou kings maintained their power through a combination of military prowess and moral authority, exemplified by their adherence to the mandate of heaven. As the Zhou kings' power waned, local lords grew increasingly autonomous, leading to the Spring and Autumn period, Despite the political fragmentation, this era was a fertile ground for intellectual and philosophical development. Confucius and other thinkers like Laozi and Mozi emerged, their teachings addressing the chaos and offering visions of moral and political order. The 100 schools of thought blossomed, fostering debates on governance, ethics, and the nature of humanity. Confucianism, with its emphasis on filial piety and social harmony, became deeply ingrained in Chinese culture. Taoism, advocating for a return to nature and a life of simplicity, also found its roots during this tumultuous period. The Warring States period saw 7 major states vying for dominance, resulting in incessant warfare and political intrigue. Yet, this period also witnessed significant advancements in military strategy, agriculture, and administration. The development of iron tools and the crossbow revolutionized warfare and agriculture, contributing to the state's growing power. Legalism, a philosophy advocating strict laws and harsh punishments, gained prominence, particularly in the state of Qin. The period's brutality was balanced by remarkable cultural achievements, as scholars continued to explore and refine ideas that would shape Chinese civilization for millennia. The Qin Dynasty, though brief, was a turning point in Chinese history. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, unified China through ruthless efficiency and centralization. His reign saw the standardization of scripts, weights, and measures, and the construction of a vast network of roads and canals to connect the empire. Qin Shi Huang's grandiose projects, including the Great Wall and his mausoleum guarded by the Terracotta Army, were awe-inspiring yet oppressive. The dynasty's harsh legalist policies and heavy taxation sparked widespread resentment, leading to its downfall shortly after the emperor's death. Despite its brevity, the Qin dynasty's impact on Chinese statecraft and culture was profound, laying the foundations for future empires. Liu Bang, a commoner turned emperor, founded the Han Dynasty, heralding a golden age of prosperity and cultural flourishing. The Western Han capital, Chang'an, became a vibrant center of trade and culture. Confucianism was institutionalized, becoming the official state ideology, while the Silk Road opened, linking China with distant civilizations. The Han Dynasty expanded its territory through military conquests and diplomatic alliances, bringing regions like Korea, Vietnam, and Central Asia under Chinese influence. Emperor Wu, a key figure, implemented significant reforms and promoted Confucian education, solidifying the dynasty's cultural and political legacy. Wang Mang's usurpation and the establishment of the Xin Dynasty brought radical but ultimately unsuccessful reforms. Attempting to redistribute land and abolish slavery, Wang Mang's policies faced fierce resistance, leading to widespread chaos and rebellion. The Qin dynasty's brief existence highlighted the challenges of implementing sweeping changes in a deeply entrenched societal structure. The Eastern Han, restored by Liu Xiu, continued to build on the achievements of the Western Han. The capital moved to Luoyang, and the dynasty experienced periods of both stability and strife. The Eastern Han saw the spread of Buddhism into China, enriching the cultural and religious landscape. However, internal corruption, eunuch influence, and natural disasters gradually weakened the state. The Yellow Turban Rebellion, a massive peasant uprising, marked the beginning of the end for the Han Dynasty. The subsequent fragmentation of the empire set the stage for the turbulent Three Kingdoms period. The Three Kingdoms period is one of the most romanticized eras in Chinese history, immortalized in the novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Following the Han Dynasty's collapse, 3 rival states, Wei, Shu, and Wu, vied for control. This era was characterized by incessant warfare, shifting alliances, and legendary figures like Cao Cao, Liu Bei, and Sun Quan. Despite the chaos, the period saw significant technological and cultural advancements. The invention of the stirrup revolutionized cavalry warfare, and the period's literature and folklore enriched Chinese cultural heritage. The eventual reunification under the Jin Dynasty ended the era of division. But the Three Kingdoms' legacy of heroism and strategy endures in Chinese memory. The Jin Dynasty briefly reunified China, restoring order after the chaos of the Three Kingdoms. However, internal conflicts and power struggles soon led to its decline. The Western Jin's rule ended with invasions by northern nomadic tribes, forcing the royal court to flee south. Retreating to the south, the Eastern Jin maintained relative stability and prosperity. The dynasty fostered cultural achievements and economic development, even as it struggled to regain control of the north. The period saw the flourishing of Buddhism and Taoism, contributing to the complex fabric of Chinese spirituality. China's division into the southern and northern dynasties was a time of both turmoil and cultural dynamism. In the south, the Chinese Han people maintained traditional culture and witnessed economic growth. The north, ruled by non-Han ethnic groups like the Xianbei, experienced significant cultural and social changes. Buddhism thrived, with grand cave temples such as those at Dunhuang and Yonggang being constructed. These temples, adorned with intricate carvings and murals, stand as testaments to the era's artistic and spiritual achievements. Despite the political fragmentation, this period laid the groundwork for the cultural synthesis that would emerge under the Sui and Tang dynasties. The Sui dynasty, though short-lived, played a crucial role in reuniting China. Emperor Yangjian, known as Emperor Wen, consolidated power and embarked on ambitious infrastructure projects. The construction of the Grand Canal, a massive feat of engineering, connected the Yellow and Yangtze rivers, facilitating trade and communication across the empire. However, Emperor Yang's extravagant military campaigns and forced labor projects led to widespread discontent and rebellion. The dynasty's collapse was swift, but its achievements in unification and infrastructure set the stage for the flourishing Tang Dynasty. The Tang Dynasty is often regarded as a golden age of Chinese civilization. Under the Tang, China became a cultural, economic, and military powerhouse. The capital, Chang'an, was the world's largest city and a melting pot of cultures, religions, and ideas. Tang poetry, exemplified by luminaries like Li Bai and Du Fu, captured the era's spirit and remains a pinnacle of Chinese literature. The dynasty expanded its influence through military conquests and the flourishing Silk Road, which facilitated trade and cultural exchange with regions as far as Persia and the Byzantine Empire. The Tang era also saw significant developments in technology and governance. The invention of woodblock printing revolutionized the dissemination of information, and the civil service examination system was refined, promoting meritocracy. However, internal strife such as the Longshan rebellion and external pressures gradually weakened the dynasty, leading to its eventual decline. Following the Tang collapse, China fragmented into regional regimes. The 5 dynasties ruled the north in quick succession, while the south splintered into 10 kingdoms. Despite the political instability, this era saw vibrant cultural and economic activity, particularly in the south. The southern states, relatively stable and prosperous, became centers of commerce and culture. The period's cultural and technological advancements, such as the development of porcelain and improvements in agricultural techniques, laid the groundwork for the Song dynasty's later achievements. The Song dynasty restored unity, ushering in an era of economic prosperity and technological innovation. The capital, Kaifeng, was a hub of commerce and culture. Advances in printing, gunpowder, and the compass marked the Song era as a time of remarkable innovation. Neo-Confucianism emerged as a dominant intellectual force, synthesizing Confucian, Buddhist, and Taoist thought. The Song's emphasis on education and civil service fostered a meritocratic society, with scholars playing prominent roles in governance. After losing the north to the Jurchen Jin, the southern Song ruled from Hangzhou. Despite territorial losses, the dynasty continued to thrive culturally and economically. Maritime trade flourished, connecting China with Southeast Asia, India, and beyond. The Southern Song period saw significant artistic achievements, particularly in painting and ceramics. The dynasty's resilience and cultural vitality during this time of adversity underscore its historical significance. Founded by Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan, the Yuan Dynasty integrated China into the vast Mongol Empire. Mongol rule brought new connections and exchanges, while the Mongols facilitated trade and cultural exchange along the Silk Road. Their harsh regime imposed significant burdens on the Chinese populace. Marco Polo's accounts introduced China to Europe, sparking imaginations and interest in the East. However, internal strife, fiscal mismanagement, and natural disasters weakened the Yuan dynasty. The Red Turban Rebellion, a peasant uprising, signaled the dynasty's impending collapse. The Ming Dynasty restored Han Chinese rule, initiating a period of stability and cultural resurgence. Emperor Yonglei's grand naval expeditions, led by the eunuch admiral Zheng He, showcased China's maritime prowess. These voyages extended China's influence to Southeast Asia, India, and East Africa, fostering trade and diplomatic relations. The Great Wall was reinforced to defend against northern invaders, and Beijing became the new capital with the Forbidden City as its heart. The Ming era saw advancements in literature, art, and technology. However, internal corruption, factionalism, and peasant uprisings eventually eroded Ming authority, leading to its downfall. The Manchu-led Qing Dynasty expanded China's territory to its greatest extent, integrating Tibet, Xinjiang, and Mongolia. Early Qing emperors like Kangxi and Qianlong presided over a period of prosperity and cultural richness. The Qing promoted agricultural expansion and infrastructure development, solidifying their control over a vast and diverse empire. However, the Opium Wars, internal rebellions like the Taiping Rebellion, and pressures from foreign powers weakened the dynasty. The Treaty of Nanking and subsequent unequal treaties forced China to cede territory and grant trade concessions to Western powers, marking the beginning of the century of humiliation. Efforts at modernization, such as the self-strengthening movement, came too late to save the Qing dynasty. The 1911 revolution, led by Sun Yat-sen, overthrew the imperial system, ending over 2 millennia of dynastic rule. The abdication of the last emperor, Puyi, marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in Chinese history. The Republic of China was born amidst hopes of modernization and democratic reform. Sun Yat-sen's vision of a modern democratic China faced numerous challenges, including warlordism, foreign invasion, and internal strife. The early republic struggled to assert control over a fragmented and war-torn nation. The Chinese civil war between the nationalists, Kuomintang, and communists intensified, overshadowing efforts at nation-building. The Japanese invasion and occupation during World War II brought immense suffering and devastation. Despite these challenges, the period also saw significant cultural and intellectual movements, such as the May 4th movement, which advocated for science, democracy, and cultural renewal. Mao Zedong's victory in the Civil War and the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949 marked a new era. Under Mao, China underwent radical social and economic changes. The Great Leap Forward aimed at rapid industrialization and collectivization, but resulted in widespread famine and millions of deaths. The Cultural Revolution, a decade-long period of political and social upheaval, sought to purge capitalist and traditional elements from Chinese society, causing widespread chaos and suffering. After Mao's death, Deng Xiaoping's reforms in the late 20th century ushered in an era of economic liberalization and rapid growth. The implementation of market-oriented reforms transformed China into an international economic powerhouse, lifting millions out of poverty and reshaping the worldwide economic landscape. The 21st century has seen China assert its influence on the world stage, grappling with challenges and opportunities as it navigates its path forward. Issues such as environmental sustainability, human rights, and international trade continue to shape China's domestic and foreign policies. As China moves forward, its rich history and unique cultural heritage remain a source of pride and identity for its people. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more fascinating journeys through time and untold history.